Hello, friends. This is Dave Hurwitz, Executive Director at ClassicsToday.com, here with a really cool new CD in Naxos' Brazilian music series. It's this thing by CÉSAR Guerra-Peixe. That's how you pronounce it, I'm told. Guerra-Peixe. It means warfish. Yeah, that's his name, Warfish. So forget his name. He lived from 1914 to 1993. And boy, was he a good composer on evidence here. He was a violinist, an ethnomusicologist, an educator, a composer for film and radio and television, and regular orchestra. He began his serious, and I use the term advisedly, music career as a serial 12-tonist, but he gave it up when he started doing ethnomusicology, when he started exploring the music of Brazil's indigenous peoples, and it's also its street music in its cities, and the stuff that resulted is really marvelous. It's absolutely first-class music. I think his serial period actually was very good for him because it gave him a harmonic sophistication that he might not otherwise have had using very simple folk materials, because this is really ear-catching music, and it doesn't go where you think it's going to. Now, I can attribute that to his serial training, but I remember vividly, listening to the actual recordings that Bartók made of Hungarian folk music out in the field, and let me tell you, that stuff was vastly more serial than any serial music I've ever heard. So maybe that's the way it really sounded. I don't know. But whatever it was, he was a composer of really tremendous craftsmanship with an extraordinary command of sonority and timbre. And the result is here, three works. There they are, three works, which I'm going to tell you about. They are two symphonic suites, one called Paulista, the other Pernambucana. The Paulista one is reflecting the music of Sao Paulo, and the Pernambucana, the state of Pernambuco. And in between is a wonderful piece called Roda de Amigos, Circle of Friends, four portraits of some of his musical amigos, and they are funny. They're wonderful, wonderful pieces. Each of these suites, all three of them of various types, has four movements. He calls them symphonic suites, and they are. They're arranged in a symphonic order, which is allegro, sort of scherzo, slow movement, and finale. So, to that extent anyway, they're symphonic. And I'm going to play you a sample. I reviewed this disc at ClassicsToday.com, where I gave it a 10, because it deserves it, because it's really, really just a wonderful new composer you should hear. You're going to love him. You're really going to love him. If you like that wonderful, lively, folk-inspired Latin American modern music, this is a guy for you. It really is. He's more of a sort of, I would say, in terms of shape and form, he's not a Villa-Lobosian. Villa-Lobos was this hairy, romantic chunks of dripping, Brazilian stuff everywhere. He's far more along the lines of Camargo, Mozart, Guarnieri, a composer like that who was a neoclassicist. This is more like that. It's very shapely and extremely precise. And oh my God, I loved every second of it. So, who are the performances? It's the Goiás Philharmonic Orchestra under Niel Thomson, who's already done other fine work in this series. They sound really, really good here. In Roda de Amigos, the Circle of Friends, each movement features a woodwind instrument, the bassoon, the clarinet, the oboe, and the flute, actually. And the woodwind soloists are really, really good. They deserve a lot of credit. They sound terrific. But let's just listen to a bit of, I'm just taking something at random here. The first movement of Symphonic Suite number 2, Pernambucana. It's called Maracatu. Whatever a maracatu is, it's explained in the notes. I don't care. I just care about what it sounds like. So here's a little bit for your delectation. Cool, huh? It's really, really beautiful music and fascinating, full of contrasts. And like I said, it never goes exactly where you think it's going to. It doesn't ever sound facile. It's not socialist, realist folk music. It's just good orchestral writing by an imaginative composer who really knows how to work with his material. I mean, he really, really does. So I recommend this extremely, extremely highly. And I just think it would be a wonderful addition to many collections looking for interesting and different music that's extremely attractive and very original. It really is. It's marvelous. So that's CÉSAR Guerra-Peixe. There he is. And you can go and read the review on ClassicsToday.com if you like. It's just a regular review. It's not for insiders. It's not hidden away. But I think, I wanted to give it an extra plug here because the music is so good. And I do hope, this series is a wonderful series. And you're getting, we're getting to know a lot of names that we would never have heard before. But I do hope they do a deep dive into some of the better composers that they're digging up, because one of the things is that it only works if there's a certain amount of repetition. These people only stand a chance of becoming known if we get to hear more than just one sample of their work. So I'm ready to sample. Keep on listening, friends. Thanks for joining me.